Welcome to the Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and basically just humans. Like the most boring race in all of comic bookdom. Is comic bookdom a word?
Sure.
It is.
Why? Oh gosh, why couldn't we choose something interesting like the top
Game
5
them.
aliens or?
Because you're in charge of the
I
topic.
am in.
You're in charge. You picked it, dude.
So
Yeah.
this week we're actually covering the top 5 humans from the Marvel Universe. So real quick, with me as always, I've got Josh Tankersley. Okay, Naru Igbaje.
No
one heard that.
You guys never let me get to my punchline. You all interrupt me before
Take too long. It's an audio podcast. Blank was terrible.
I'm also thinking about the future because this is going to be a clip in the future. The video is going to mean something.
You drinking out of a straw is going to be what?
Hey guys, you remember that one time 2 years ago when I drank out of a straw?
Yeah.
In the intro?
Yeah.
Episode 106.
Messing up the intro. We've got Brandon Miller.
There you go.
There we go.
Ooh, there it is. And as always, I'm Jason Miller. See? What,
That was like a weak gong.
yeah, why couldn't you do something like that? So
That was weak. Like that was really weak.
well, I mean, this is what, like a steel cup? If I hit this wood table with this
Aren't you
steel
supposed
cup,
to be using something else, like a thing?
Alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
It's actually just straight whiskey in there.
Yeah.
Right? There's
Straight
no
up.
proof there's anything in there, dude. Like, look at
Fire.
He's just faking it.
He's just faking it.
Oh, dude, I so hope you spell it on
I
your
can't
computer.
see anything.
Oh, I want you to spell that on your computer so bad.
I'm not gonna
do right.
Yeah.
gargling alcohol is not the
Kelsey?
Okay, so
Honey?
this week we're switching it up a little bit. We're gonna give you guys a short show this week. Hope everyone had a great Halloween. I know that Jensen Ackles did because he was dressed up like the Red Hood.
That picture was dope.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
But it kind of freaked me out because he was like hitting those weird poses like the weird cosplay kids. Like, I was like, come on.
There's no right way to do it. Come on.
Well, yeah.
You dress up as Red Hood, you're doing it right. It doesn't
Straight
matter.
up. All you gotta do is
His Red Hood looks cool though.
Dude,
Like, can we just say that?
His Red Hood looked like he came off this like they were shooting and he just walked off the set.
Yeah, it was a cool Red Hood costume.
I for real for like a split second was like, shit, did they like actually cast him? And then I was like, going up for Halloween. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
He just shows up
Back
to the
in
movie
2010.
set. He just shows up to the movie set. They're like, here's your costume. He's like, don't worry, I already got one.
I already got my
He
own.
did the voiceover, right? He did the
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles did the voice of Jason Todd for Batman Under the Red Hood in 2010.
Which is the
Oh, he
classic.
wasn't the Red Hood. He
Which
did-
I watched
yeah.
because of Brandon. So
Yeah, so
What do you mean?
You
I
know,
watched because of
he
I had never even heard of it. Brandon was brought it up. I was like, oh shit, I need to go watch that.
apparently he loves that character.
You need help. How did you not hear of that? That was like, whoa.
Dude, that took me down this whole rabbit hole of like DC animated movies that I had never.
Which are the best?
Dude, yeah, no, for
The best animated movies.
They
ever.
should get them to do the movies. Like, screw the other guys.
These
Hey,
two
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
better animated movies than Marvel, but Marvel makes better
Live
money.
Oh,
Wait,
fun
is-
story.
is-
Those Facebook memories. A friend of mine, one of his memories came up from 8 years ago. In that, I was talking about how I can't wait to see the DC movies. I used to love the DC comics because their world was so funny and humorous. That was my comment about 8-9 years ago. And I'm like, wow, this didn't age well at all.
So dark.
Is Castlevania Marvel?
Castlevania is Netflix.
Nintendo.
It
For
is
some
not.
reason, I thought it was like Capcom or something.
Or
And
maybe-
No.
Marvel Capcom. I thought they were like owned by similar people or something. That's why.
No.
I don't know. I got back into Castlevania. Like,
yeah, I'm
Speaking
watching.
of, I haven't seen season 2 yet. Have you, Jason?
I have not watched season 2 yet.
tried to
Considering you made me
Shit.
watch 1, I'm disappointed that you never watched.
Well, season 1 was really good.
I loved
So-
one. I didn't realize 2 was out, but to be fair, I haven't watched Daredevil season 3 yet. So I guess
I started that too.
So I've actually
Wrong
been
with you?
binge watching The Haunting of Hill House.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I finished
already
it.
finished it.
My wife
I
finished
finished it in like a day and a night.
It was awesome. So Anyway, moving on. We're going to cut it a little short. We're going to cut out what we've been doing, and we're just going to get into the top 5 list. So what we're going to do, this list is from CBR.com, and you will hear our gripes and complaints as we go through. I want everyone to know we did not create this list.
I hate it.
Yeah. At the end of this list, we will give our honorable mentions and who we think should be on the list. Okay? So as we go through, I'll read out the character, a little bit about what CBR.com says about it, and then let's go ahead and give our 2 cents on that character, and then we'll move on to the next one, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
So number 5 is War Machine. So they say War Machine, James Rhodey Rhodes, is equipped with a heavily armed Iron Man suit as War Machine. The suit might look a little cooler and more intimidating than the regular Iron Man armor, but it is not as advanced. This is not to say that War Machine isn't one of the most powerful humans while in the suit, but beyond Rhodey's marine tactical training, the suit is mostly just a heavy weapon on a flying suit of armor, lacking the most advanced tech of usual Iron Man armors.
Did they make him Air Force for the movies?
Yes.
Oh, see, I never.
He was a Marine Corps pilot.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
So, we all know that Marine Corps Air Wing is basically worthless. Just kidding. I don't like Air Wingers. Whatever. You guys.
I wasn't in the Marines,
anyway.
so I can't say shit about any part of the Marines. So,
what do you guys think of War Machine coming in at number 5?
Everything
This is
about
my favorite. This is my favorite one on the list.
Wow.
This is my favorite one that made the top 5 because I was not expecting War Machine to be top 5.
I was
That's
not
why
expecting
I
it
so much.
because
The rest, I kind of like. I'm like, yeah. But you ask any 6-year-old, and they'll fucking tell you the top 5 that we're about to read off. But like War Machine, I was not expecting to be top 5, and I love it because when I was a little kid, I had a War Machine action figure, and it was fucking tight.
That's your only reason? Because you had an action figure? That's it?
Yeah. If you have an action figure of the character, you actually fucking like the character.
War Machine looks badass, though.
Yeah.
Like, I will give him that. He looks badass.
my
Gatling
problem
guns
is,
popping out.
First
and
of
shit.
all, the only thing amazing about him is the damn suit. Take away the suit, and the dude is, he's a military hero.
I will say the same
I will-
thing about Iron Man. So
No,
No,
see-
the difference is Iron Man actually builds
Right.
stuff.
billionaire. What is it?
Everything about billionaire, playboy,
Philanthropist.
philanthropist.
Okay.
There's a lot
so-
more to Iron Man.
So
than just-
let's take it like this. The guy who designed anything that I would use in combat, do you think that they would beat me in hand-to-hand combat? Maybe, but odds are the people that are using it every day are going to beat the people that designed it.
yeah, that's the difference, right? Like Iron Man is
Iron
rich
Man designed it and
smart.
uses it. What's your point?
Warhammer is poor.
He
and
called
good
it
at fighting.
Warhammer.
What? Oh, whatever.
Brandon and I have been talking a lot about war.
Yeah, we've been talking about Warhammer all day.
A war. Oh my god! It took me so long to figure out what you. I was like, yeah, and what about it? Okay, War Machine.
Yeah.
Got it.
War Machine
Yep.
is poor and very good at fighting. It's just the
Captain
two
America
ends of the
has-
spectrum wearing similar suits, and I like him better than Iron Man.
I mean, I like him better, but I don't think would be considered a stronger like superhero.
I didn't say he's a stronger superhero. I said I enjoy that he's in the top 5 because I didn't expect him to make top 5 in it.
We're talking about top 5 strongest, right? Like most amazing people. And somehow, for some reason, he's put in there ahead of Daredevil. He's put in there ahead of, let's go villains. Red Skull. Are you kidding me?
So, okay, let's just leave it at this. War Machine is great. I will say that. He's cool. But
It's debating that.
there are so many things that are preventing him, in my mind, from being top 5. I think it's great that he's on there, but in my mind, I think Falcon is better than War Machine.
He might not be. Let me rephrase this. I enjoy he's on the top 5. Don't say anything, anybody. I don't know if he should be on the top 5, but I'm not trying to read a fucking list that a 6-year-old can make. I want to read a list and be like, oh, wow, yeah.
You
Like-
want surprises on the list.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like,
So-
yep, that fucking makes sense. That's the strongest fucking
So,
person.
That's one of the
Surprises
reasons why
on the
Brandon
list
likes movies.
lead
with
me
no
to the next two.
everything.
The next two surprised me because I like the fact that they're on here. Number 2 and number 1, those are easy.
Yeah.
But number 4 is Nick Fury. I like Nick Fury. Nick Fury has fought through several wars thanks to a formula that slowed his aging, but beyond his longevity, Fury doesn't have any superhuman abilities. The formula doesn't give him super strength or prevent him from dying of natural causes or bullets or anything like that. In his many years of combat experience, Fury has become a master of armed and unarmed combat, but his true power lies in being the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury has access to one of the largest spy agencies in the world, giving him incredible power that cannot be matched by superpowers.
You know who this kind of reminds me of is the guy in Ed Norton's Hulk, the guy they send after Hulk.
Oh yeah,
He's just like he's just like a dude who's just been doing it forever. So like he just has kind of like those heightened like war senses or whatever you want to call them, like battle senses.
Well, I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he has S.H.I.E.L.D., right? This is Brandon, you'll understand this. Tank, you might. I don't know if you will. My dad always knows a guy, right? Like, and if you don't know my dad,
Exactly.
you know a guy who knows someone like that.
He's
It's
connected.
like, oh yeah, I got a guy. That guy
Nick
is
Fury is the ultimate connected guy. Like
Exactly.
he knows the guy, and he knows that guy's secrets, and he knows the guy who has that guy under his thumb secrets.
He's like, yeah, that guy owes me something because I gave him this thing for free when I was like 16. Let me just call him. And you're like, what the fuck?
Listen, I'll say this about Nick Fury. I was surprised he was there, but to follow Brandon, pleasantly surprised. Mainly because this version of Nick Fury has been so overshadowed by the Ultimates version with the whole, the black Nick Fury.
Oh, I was about to say, oh, by the way, he's white. Like, oh, totally.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so they bring back the original Nick Fury in this list and say, this guy is amazing. I'm like, good point. I mean, one of Nick Fury's biggest strengths is the fact that he's a guy who always has a plan inside a plan inside a plan. And he's got backups of backups of backups.
Yeah.
You can't get the better of Nick Fury.
Like it's one of those ones that's like, I wouldn't think of him until you say him. Then I'm like, oh, you're right. He does belong to he does belong here. So
like he's a guy. He's not the guy you want to go up against. Let's put it that way.
I also like this choice, but I kind of hate what Jason was talking about, like the fact that the article said that his like biggest power was that he has the army of S.H.I.E.L.D. basically. Like I didn't like I think they should have. I liked the other like
I would say it differently
of him of why he should be in the list more than them saying that his biggest thing is knowing guys.
I would say it differently, Brandon. I would say his biggest power is that he rose to be the guy at the head of an agency like S.H.I.E.L.D. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the qualities that got him to be the head of that. That's what I'm
agreeing with you. I said I would say it differently. That's what I'm saying. Like I would say the guy.
He's a master strategist.
Yeah, like that's why he should be in the top 5 for me, not the fact that he has S.H.I.E.L.D. at his fingertips, which is kind of how this article like portrays it.
Yeah.
Right. So that leads us to number 3, which is my favorite of the top 5. Wait, let me rephrase that. It's my favorite. My favorite character I did not expect to be here, but I definitely think should be, and that's Hank Pym.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
Hank Pym is awesome. So ant size or giant size, Hank Pym is easily one of the strongest humans in the Marvel Universe, all thanks to his impressive intelligence, which has resulted in his Pym particles that allow him to change his size at will. Ant-Man can use Pym particles to shrink down to a size that makes him the ultimate stealth fighter. Since his normal-sized strength remains, he can also grow to skyscraper sizes and make him a super strong giant who shouldn't be messed with. Ant-Man is a versatile fighter that is an invaluable asset to the Avengers and Marvel Universe at large.
So, like,
on behalf of the Me Too movement, I just want to say this guy doesn't deserve to be.
Ant-Man is the shit.
Dude, and isn't he like one of the like 5th smartest people in the Marvel?
He is one of the most. Yeah,
I don't think he's 5th.
He's top 7.
I think. Yeah, it's like him, Banner, what's the stretch guy? Fantastic and
Yeah.
Stretch guy. Oh man.
Reed
Reed
Richards.
Richards. Yeah,
Stretch guy.
so you guys know exactly who I was talking about.
We
Other
do.
white
It's
guy.
yeah.
Vision.
Like, dude,
So
really?
it's like
Yeah, I mean, I'm
him,
down.
Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Black Bolt. Like he's one of the smartest
No,
people.
no,
in
not
the
Black
universe.
Bolt. Black Panther.
No. Black Bolt's there too. The Illuminati.
Top 7? No, the Illuminati is
Oh.
different from the top 7 smartest
Yeah.
people. That's a whole different list. That list
So-
has what's his name? The new Hulk. Cho.
Oh,
Amadeus
yeah.
Cho.
Okay, so, but anyway, Hank Pym is extremely smart and he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
And he's underrated. His intelligence and his versatility is underrated. He's one of those guys who, when they focus on what he really can bring to the field, it's an amazing series. I've seen comic series where they talked about how he pretty much has an entire army and universe at his control, the microverse and all that. There's things he does and goes into that they never really take time to dwell on. But if they do, man, you really don't want to go up against Hank Pym. He will mess you up.
Yeah. So Scott Lang is the MCU Ant-Man, and he's a great character. He's super strong. Now, just imagine if Scott Lang was a genius.
Yeah.
That's not even beginning to be possible. He's smart.
No, yeah,
The genius.
But
exactly. That's what I'm
know,
saying. It's like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tank.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Scott Lang was a genius, you'd have Hank Pym. Like, that's
I think they really didn't want to go with Hank Pym anyway because of his history as a wife-beating douche. Like he really, in the comics, they turned him into one of the most offensive human beings ever. He went from being Ant-Man to being the Wasp himself at one point, then donning the Yellow Jacket identity when he had a breakdown, and this is after he beat up his wife and nearly killed her. So there's a whole lot of things wrong with Hank.
Is that the early 2000s?
Yeah, so I figured
It's
they would
because
probably
Nelly always wore the shirt that's very popular called a wife beater, and it's
That's true. And
And it
Cisco
leaked
made the
into
thong
the
song.
Marvel multiverse.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
we
surprised
all
to see him.
think,
He deserves to be there. So
yeah, I think we all think Hank Pym deserved to be in the top 5.
I love Ant-Man. Like, I love Ant-Man. I think he's really cool. Like, that whole power set. But, like, also I expected it because I expected the top 5 to be people who are very popular in the movies currently.
Hank Pym isn't popular.
No, but Ant-Man.
But Ant-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
So leading from popular movies, we'll go ahead and get into number 2 and number 1. We'll just knock these out at the same time. I don't think I need to read the
Why
description.
don't we do our
to know
honorable
who they
mentions
are.
before we do the number 1?
Yeah, we'll do number 2 and number 1. That's not
Or
as
before
that's
that.
not as exciting.
Yeah, it's not as exciting. So
Honorable
number
mention.
2 is Captain America. The
Duh.
Steve Rogers iteration of Captain America. We all know why. We all know he's the
Because it's
man among
Captain
men. And
America.
number 1, nobody agrees with, and it's Tony Stark.
Yeah,
So
the obvious when you think about
I'll say this so we went on the whole tangent, right, about War Machine and not being as, smart as Tony Stark or whatever. What if Steve Rogers had the War Machine suit against Tony Stark's Iron Man suit?
You still take him out because he built this thing. He takes out War Machine can never go up against Tony Stark with the suit. Tony would just laugh and deactivate his suit.
If Tony could not deactivate the suit.
What do you mean? Really?
Deactivate.
Are we going to just
Similar.
keep creating? Even then, War Machine doesn't have a suit that can stand up against Stark.
No.
To tell you the truth, I feel like Captain America has a better chance without the suit.
Okay, yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Having said that, he won't win, but he does have a better chance.
Because like his power set is better than the War Machine guns, in my opinion.
That's true.
However, let's take this one step further. Tony without his suit and Steve Rogers without the superpowers.
Tony. I actually have to give
Or no, not Tony, whatever.
Tony.
Captain America without the powers.
Right.
And Tony
Tony.
without the suit.
Tony.
Yeah, so
Tony's a regular guy who beat the shit out of the scrawny kid. Come on.
Well, I'm saying if Captain America wasn't a scrawny kid, if they were both like
You
same
can't
strength.
say that, dude. The only thing that made him what he is because of the serum. Take away the serum. he reverts
I
to
get what
who
you're
he
saying,
was.
Brandon.
Yeah,
I
I'm
get what
not
you're
saying
saying.
like him being a scrawny person. I'm
That's
saying
who
both
he
of them being
is.
No.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. Both of them being regular humans doing regular power to each other.
They
What
did.
regular power?
I want to
What you
phrase
talking
it.
about?
Both of them have a strength rating of 10. I don't fucking know.
They did do a thing where Steve Rogers lost the super strength and everything else. They did do that,
Yeah.
but he did
And
not
that's
become
where-
scrawny. So that's
He
Steve
did
Rogers
become
with the
strong. He just
same
wasn't as strong.
military mindset versus
Yeah.
Tony Stark, Steve Rogers all day.
My problem is
Never.
I see Tony Stark thinking like Robert Downey Jr. does in Sherlock Holmes, and like that's like I keep trying to put those two together. Like I want to see like him just like play out the whole fight in his head and then just like wreck shit.
Which you probably
Listen.
might.
I mean, he's
First of
he's
all,
smart enough to do
Tony
it. Right?
is super smart. Tony also, on top of all that, like if you take away all his armor and everything else, there's been several episodes of stories where Tony literally lost everything and still took people out. Like he still took out his opponents. He still circumvented situations. He still hacked his way into stuff. And so my point is, and don't forget, this is all about the title was the strongest human. So we're talking about guys.
Not strongest, most powerful.
It's literally strongest, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're doing strength, then it would be Steve Rogers.
No, my point is when they describe it this way, they don't want to use power, but they're saying strong. The point they're making is who up against the other would win. So if you take away the serum from Captain America and you're left with Steve Rogers, scrawny or not, and you have Tony without all his equipment, and all he has is his brain, he'll still take Captain America out.
Oh, look. Captain has like a strong brain or brain power in fighting.
His strength is
in fighting each other.
Let's go back to the reason he got the super soldier serum is because he has a huge heart.
Well,
character, exactly.
He won't stop.
He's 1,000,000% a better person than Tony Stark. Like
by far.
No
powers,
one arguing
powers, he is by far the better human being.
If
it came down to it,
serum, you have Red Skull.
Man, Tony would be a piece of shit. He would win. He would fight dirty. He would do Tony would take him out. Seriously.
Oh no.
All right.
It's kind of like saying like Bill Gates, who's very smart, right? Whatever. Or a very smart person who makes tech could beat up Bruce Lee if they had the same like
dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Power or strength.
Go read Iron Man comics where he lost everything.
No, I like Brandon's analogy. Bill Gates versus Bruce Lee.
His analogy
both
makes
of them
no
can
sense.
both bench press 200 pounds.
First of all,
you're telling me Bill Gates could beat Bruce Lee if they could.
Okay, I'm gonna say this just one time. Tony in the comics without his suits has been known to look at stuff and still calculate trajectories, angles. He's been known to hack stuff.
That's basic biomechanics. Take one fucking biomechanics.
He's been known to hack into stuff.
I'll put it this way.
With a cell phone. He'll take your cell phone and hack the Pentagon.
I'll put it this way to kind of bring it back to your Bill Gates, Bruce Lee thing. I'll use there's no such thing as a fair fight. So
for sure.
If Bill Gates is going to a fight with Bruce Lee, he's not going to walk up and trade punches with him.
Wait, hold up. Are you saying take away the serum from Captain America, you got Bruce Lee?
All right, I feel like this is the chicken or the egg, and the Miller boys are gonna fight Steve Rogers all day, and the nerd and the Iron Man fanboy.
I would like to state I don't
Tony
like
Stark
Captain
underwear.
America. Jason's the one that likes Captain America.
We know he likes Captain
All
America.
right, so
I'm just laughing because
going from 2-1. I mean, 2-1 were whatever. That's gonna be, if I wrote the list, Captain America would be number one. If Naru wrote the list, Iron Man would be number one. Let's get into our honorable mentions. All right. So let's start with Tank. Who would you put on this list? You don't have to say where they'd go, but who do you think deserved to be in the top 5 for sure?
So I'm going to go with Bucky, because especially if you read in this article, it literally is like he goes toe-to-toe with Captain America and has a metal arm, but he's like halfway down the list. It doesn't make any sense. You literally put Captain America as the second strongest human in the Marvel Universe. You say Bucky goes toe-to-toe with him, but he only gets – that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like Nightwing goes toe-to-toe with Batman, but Batman's still
a million times better.
Yeah.
See, I would say Batman is better than Nightwing.
He is. And Captain America is better than Bucky. That's why Bucky hasn't beaten him. But I see what you're saying. He definitely if he goes toe to toe with Cap, he deserves to be up there.
He's
I mean,
way high.
If you take morals into account, which they in this list they do a lot, Bucky beat Captain America in the Winter Soldier because Cap refused to kill him. And if you bring morals into the fight, Bucky wins.
Also, let me clear this up for everyone that has not seen this list, that's listening to this show. These are going off comic book characters, not the MCU characters.
So I haven't read the comics, so I have to go off the movies. Okay.
So
Damn it.
in the comics, Captain America always does win because he's the good guy.
He's
He
the
has to
good
beat the
guy,
Russians,
right.
right? It's an American comic. He has to beat the Russians. So, yeah. But I will give you that. He goes toe to toe. Even in the comics, Bucky is a very, very strong character. So,
He is.
Naru, who's your honorable mention?
If we went off the comic books alone, then I'd have to go with Bruce Banner, mainly because there was a series of arcs they did where he was separated from the Hulk. He had nothing to do with the Hulk, so the Hulk was gone. And he basically had to survive on his wits, and for the first time in his life, 100% depend on his intelligence, his ability to create, build, design. And that was an amazing time because you saw stuff about Bruce Banner. He was no longer just a whimpering, sorrowful, hiding out dude. He was a guy who was contributing, actually coming up with, amazing inventions. And at one point, the second arc of that, he had the Hulk, but even though he worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., he kept the Hulk at bay, and he told S.H.I.E.L.D., I will give you the Hulk, you can use him, only if you give me a lab where I can go build stuff. I really want to actually use my brain for once. And that was an amazing series where he was creating some of the most amazing stuff. So that would be my choice. But almost everybody knows the MCU, in which case I'm like, how the hell is Red Skull number 24 on this list?
We're not going.
It also goes
right.
toe to toe with Captain America.
Thank you.
Yeah, Red Skull's a douche.
He may be a douche, but he's strong.
That's not what we said.
Powerful. That's
He's
the
a
point.
Nazi
The
douche.
point is power.
All right, Brandon. Who's your honorable mention?
I'm going to go with actually number 6 on the list, which is not far off from number 5. Ikari, which isn't like a huge character, but he was kind of created to go. It's like the one-off of Daredevil, the evil one-off of Daredevil that, like, everybody has their evil one-off type thing. However, it's not Netflix Daredevil where all he does is box. It's comic book Daredevil where he's like doing flips and kicking people in the face and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like way cooler Daredevil. But this one like kills, and he has eyesight, so he can still see, but he also has all of Daredevil's enhanced senses, and he can like process all of the senses and all of the heightened senses that he gets. So he's like just that one step better, and he kills people, which is tight because I'm a fan of the anti-hero.
You're a fan of people getting killed.
Yeah, for sure. If it's bad guy, just fucking cap him.
So question, how does he get killed? Like, how come he dies? He's supposed to be this awesome dude.
Yeah, he is awesome, but he's a bad guy, and it's Marvel, so.
Yeah.
like Bucky, he loses.
You're right.
But it's an awesome character, and he has like cool fucking weapons. So
he dies because he doesn't have plot armor.
He has like commas, right?
Yeah. Like little miniature sights.
Yeah.
After this, I gotta go read up on him. Like, who is this guy?
So
he looks sick.
He's pretty cool. I'll follow you up, Brandon, and I'll go along with like the ninja looking person, and I'll choose Ronin, who is not on this list, but he's on this
Never
list.
heard of him.
Hawkeye. So what? 2000? It was right before Civil War, right? When Hawkeye got rid of the Hawkeye costume and became Ronin, because that's when everyone's identities were out. And Ronin basically beat a ton of people. And he went toe-to-toe with everyone, and Hawkeye ditched his bow and arrow because he didn't want people to know who he was, and he picked up katanas and was just dishing out mass amounts of pain. So I think that is a very, very sick character because there were times where he did grab a bow. So he still had that ability, but it showed the versatility of Hawkeye, who's not just a range specialist. it showed that he could go toe to toe with almost anyone in the Marvel universe. And yeah, I think Hawkeye is one of the most overlooked characters, especially now since
weapons specialist.
What's that?
It highlights that he's a weapons specialist and not a ranged specialist.
Yeah, like he can do everything. And I think that's hashtag Ronin to save the MCU against Thanos. Hashtag Ronin.
I hope they don't go like.
I think Ronin will come in.
I hope they don't go like overly ninja, because Ronin is a samurai whose master gets killed. So I hope it's more
no. It's going to be a blackout uniform with a black mask, and it's just going to be
running on rooftops throwing fucking shurikens and stuff. Yeah, but like I hope it's not. I hope it's like the wayward samurai, like Samurai Champloo style. That's
what it is at all. But hey, guys. If you guys agree with our honorable mentions, let us know in the comments. Let us know. Hit us up on email or on social media. If you guys have your own honorable mentions on who you think should be in the top 5 from the Marvel Universe, let us know that. They have to be humans, though. So don't you dare put Reed Richards or Johnny Storm in there. Because Johnny Storm...
Franklin, though.
Technically, it's a human, right?
They're human, but they have superpowers.
But it's kind of like Captain America. That's why I'm confused about the whole thing.
Exactly,
like,
right?
Weird.
The list is weird, man.
Hey, if you guys put your favorite human on anywhere, social media, let us know. I'm sure we'll plug this somewhere, right? We'll have our social media person on it, Tank.
What?
Yep. That's how you know he's paying attention. So, hey, you guys... tell them where to find you, Tank.
Yep, you guys can find me all over the internet, paying attention to what we're doing here at the Caped Critic. Keep an eye on the channel. We got some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, cool stuff. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Naru, tell them where to find you.
Once you see Houdini 0333, look for the guy bugging him underneath, the Niger nerd. That's probably going to be me.
Yeah, because he always follows whatever I say. And you can find what I say at Houdini0333 on Twitter and Instagram. And oh, gosh, we know you guys have been waiting for it.
There we go.
Yo, Brandon, tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Luxy at bmiller425.
Spell it.
My pockets be fat.
What you use this
Luxy, dude.
Oh,
Luxy.
I
can just weigh my wallet at this point.
Are you reusing them?
I think so.
This is just his favorite.
Luxy looks like the Trojan condom box.
Weird.
He used Luxy before.
Did I use Luxy before?
Yeah, you did. The millionaires.
While Brandon is come up with a witty comeback, you guys can find us at The Nerds From Work all over the internet. You can find our website at TheNerdsFromWork.com. Be sure to follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/TheNerdsFromWork. Support us. It's honestly cheaper than getting a McDouble. So you can support our drinking habits by not getting that McDouble that you really didn't need.
Get a McGangbang.
That's debatable.
There's no way Michael is a millionaire. I don't care what Luxy said.
Okay, so anyway, you can find us.
You can also find me on Badoo. You can find me on Meatville. You can find me on Clover.
Okay, you can find us at TheNerdsFromWork.com. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on YouTube at The Nerds From Work. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Nerds From Work. They do not like the word "the." Sometimes in this outro, I get kind of confused. But hey, from all of us at the workplace, peace.
Later, y'all.